Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. We're at Coach today. A rare little treat. Guess what just happened? Coach just bought something really big. What did they buy and what does it mean for the fashion world? Well, let's find out together. Subscribe to my channel, push the join button next to the subscription button, become a member today, get access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon. Superdacob all spelled together there as well for extra perks. This video is being filmed live in front of a live virtual audience. Thank you to my members and patrons who have already pledged. Come join the live streams and partake in the live chats. Now, listen, Coach is not its own brand really because Tapestry, yes, Tapestry, a New York-based company owns Coach, and they also own Kate Spade, amongst other brands. So here's the deal. Tapestry, who knew? I mean, like you can do your research and then you find all this stuff out. Yes, we know, Kering owns all of those brands. LVMH owns a ton of brands. But did we know about Tapestry? Well, Tapestry is, because this is important. Like we might be laughing now, like Tapestry. I mean, LVMH sounds a little bit more profesh than Tapestry. Or Kering Group sounds a little bit more profesh than Tapestry. Luxottica sounds a little bit more profesh than Tapestry. But don't be fooled, because you're going to hear about Tapestry more and more in the future. Why? Because Tapestry is from America, not from Europe. All of these other brands and conglomerates that are ruling the fashion world, they're all from Europe. Tapestry is from America, but Tapestry wants to become a very big competitor, big competition for these major European conglomerates. So Tapestry, hear this, that owns, first of all, their headquarters are in New York. They own Kate Spade and Coach. Well, now Tapestry purchased Capri Holdings. Yes, another brand, another conglomerate that has a weird name, Capri, like the city in Italy. Capri Holdings. Did you listen? Capri Holdings, do you know who Capri Holdings own? Because Capri Holdings is another conglomerate. Yeah, like Capri Sun. Exactly, Katie. Katie in the chat says Michael Kors. Capri Holdings owns Michael Kors and Versace, or Versace, as somebody in some movie once said. Amongst other brands. This is a big merger for an American company to pluck all of these companies, put them all together, all these fashion brands. They're trying to build a competition, allegedly, right? For the Kering Group, for LVMH, and everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged, just my opinion. Thomas Sullivan says, I thought Michael Kors bought Versace before the pandemic. Yes, Thomas Sullivan, but it wasn't really Michael Kors. It was the Capri Holdings Group that owns Michael Kors, got Versace. Now, we all said Michael Kors got Versace. Right. But Michael Kors has been had by Capri Holdings. Now, an even bigger fish comes along, which is Tapestry. And Tapestry weaves into its tapestry, see what I did there? The Capri Holdings Group. And the Capri Holdings Group holds under its Capri Sun, Michael Kors and Versace. So Versace belongs to Michael Kors, who belongs to Capri Holdings, who now belongs to the Tapestry Group. So, yes, the big fish eats the smaller fish, Nat, exactly. But what is really fascinating to me is that now, I'm not so sure Capri Holdings, which, I mean, it sounds like it's Italian. Well, you never know. There's some weird Americans out there. They choose some weird names for their brands and companies. But now, at least I know for sure, okay, it's official. Versace, the Italian brand Versace, is now American. Now, the headlines of the articles that report about this are saying that Coach is buying Versace. That Coach bought Michael Kors, which owns Versace. But when you read into the article, they explain to you Tapestry bought Capri Holdings. It's almost like saying LVMH bought Kering. Kering's biggest nightmare, but obviously that didn't happen. Isn't that interesting? Now, Kev says they should sell Versace. It feels so out of place. Versace is not Versace anymore anyway. Tracy V says all have outlet stores too. Interesting. Yes, Tina, a parent company. Exactly. Carrie, you're right. These conglomerates give themselves the goofiest names. It's because there's a bunch of nerds and money people that invent all of this stuff, you guys. The creative people don't sit at the head of these companies. The heads of these companies answer to investors, and that's about it. The money is all they care for. They're not going to invent some amazing creative name and title. They don't got an ounce of creativity in their bones. They're just about the money. They're not about art. But what is very fascinating to me is, okay, hear me out on this. Always saw, I know when Gianni was alive, Gianni made Versace what it is, still to this day. But think about it. If you really think about it, at first I was shocked. Oh my God, the Italian brand Versace is no longer Italian, let alone European. It's now American from New York. But then I started thinking, maybe this does make sense. Why? Well, think about it. When Gianni Versace was alive, his last years, the most memorable collections that he ever did were in the early mid-90s. Then he passed away in the mid-90s. He moved where? To Miami. He moved to Florida. He had that famous villa, the Versace villa in Florida. His most famous prints and patterns were all inspired by Miami Beach. All of his Barocco prints, yes, they were also very inspired by the Italian Baroque, but they were also very much Miami inspiration. All of the Étoile de la Mer collection, very much inspired by Miami, Florida. So, technically, Versace was very American. Very pop culturally American, quintessentially American towards the end of Gianni's life. When Gianni was gone, Donatella took over. Donatella made it very European. It looked very, at least at the beginning, which is what made it also feel a little bit like less Gianni, because Gianni was more American. So I'm thinking to myself, maybe all things considered, for Versace to go to America might be a good thing. Because always the best looks from Versace were always either worn by Americans or were designed with America in mind. So for Versace to become an American brand, pop culturally speaking, Hollywood-wise, music-wise speaking, makes total sense to me. Total sense to me. The music stars, the rappers, all of that vibe, they all wore Versace. They wore Versace sunglasses, they wore Versace jewelry. They still to this day wear Versace clothes. Versace is an American brand. So I think this is actually a brilliant idea to finally shift it over to America. And yes, somebody in the chat says, well, Chanel is now a British brand. Also correct. Chanel has moved all of it, but Chanel did that for the money. Chanel moved their headquarters and all of their taxing stuff right after Brexit was announced. Chanel was like, bye, we're going to Great Britain, better taxes. And so they started this major move in 2016 and everything was kind of like shifting. And now Chanel is no longer technically a European brand because the taxes that they're paying, you know, as a company, they reside in the UK. So the UK is no longer Europe politically. So one doth wonder, you know, Chanel using the whole shtick of, yeah, we're French, the heritage, the this and the that. But then at the same time, they don't want to pay taxes in France because it's better conditions to pay them elsewhere. So it's like you want to use the name, the French name of the French culture and all of that stuff, but then you don't want to contribute to the economy of France. It's a bit shady, right? Allegedly. Everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. So yeah, it's not the same. It's different. It's different, isn't it? Emotion Engine says Versace is no longer Italian in the way Chanel is no longer French. There you have it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was the news, breaking news. You could technically say Coach now owns Versace. So could you imagine if Coach starts doing like collaboration pieces with Versace? How is that going to look like? Could you imagine like this? And then in the O, there's a Medusa. There's like a Medusa in the O. And then, I don't know, something like that. It's a vibe. What can I tell you? Chanel is not European Union. Not European, says Mahones. My eyes. I'm living ferret, says Winnie, right? And then you could also do, you know, all of that Baroque prints on the bags. And then call it, oh my gosh, I have the name. Oh, Katie's like Kozace. No, Kochace. Kochace. And then everybody who doesn't know how to pronounce it, they're all going to say Kochachi. Kochachi. Kochachi, you guys. Kochachi. Yes, Kochachi. Versaco. Oh my God, DL. Versaco is also good. No, cannot read that one. We saw first at the banca. I'm telling you, right? But Kochachi, I think like it kind of sounds like tchotchkes and, you know, like cucaracha, like, you know, it sounds a little bit like cockroach. I always thought that Coach is like cockroach. It's like the abbreviation of cockroach. Look, once you hear it, you cannot unhear it. Once you visualize it, you cannot unsee it. I promise you. Now that you know what I always think of Coach, or like what I see when I read Coach, you can't unsee it. It's like the abbreviation of cockroach. Cockroach. I just see Gloria Athena says Dacob. Tapestry is a company originally morphed from Liz Claiborne. Very American. There you have it. Yeah, I just ruined Coach, says Oshidi, right? I mean, but Kochache or Kochachi? Oh my God, I'm living ferret. I want to see that logo. Coach and Versace, Kochache. Anyway, thank you so much. Let me know down below what your blend of merger of names between Coach and Versace would sound like, would look like, would be like. Thumb up the video and subscribe. Love you loads. Ciao, 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 ciao.